In this video, I've got a recording for you of a Skype chat that I had earlier today with Leon Angus. Now, Leon is a regular on my channel, often joins us on the live streams on a Wednesday. And during one of those live streams, we got chatting and Leon mentioned that he had a YouTube channel, which, by the way, you should definitely go and check out. I'll put a link up in a card now. Leon also mentioned that he's got a couple of his own affiliate sites that are doing pretty well. In fact, one of them is earning around $600 a month. So that's pretty good. And he basically offered to come on the channel, have a chat with me, share some of his tips and advice and some of his stories around how he created those sites. And yeah, that's what we've done. And that's what I've got for you right now. During the call, Leon shared loads of great stuff, including how he goes about selecting a niche, how he does his keyword research, how he gets his articles created, some of his favorite YouTubers and gurus and all that kind of stuff, as well as a whole host of other useful tips and ideas that I'm sure you're all going to really enjoy. So I think that's enough from me. Let's roll the tape. Okay, so I've got Leon with me right now on Skype. We're just going to be having a chat about a few things in terms of what he's been up to and everything to do with his affiliate marketing websites. So Leon, why don't we just start with you introducing yourself, let us know who you are, what you do, what your background is, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, just to hello everyone, WP Eagle. So I'm Leon Angus. I've been doing affiliate marketing for just over, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 years now, probably coming up to. And I've been in niche websites for about just around a year. My background is in working in the corporate world as a full-time train driver, or tube driver to be precise, in the middle of London. I'm 28 years old. That's it.
Okay, cool. So how did you get into affiliate marketing and, making money online and all that kind of stuff?
Yep. Just like anyone, I saw Tai Lopez's advert, which is where I started.
Tai Lopez, yeah. He's got a lot to answer for.
That's it. I bought his 67 steps, and that's what first led me. I did actually gather quite a bit of useful information from that. But the initial, I'd say the genesis of everything was I used to run a small shop, like mini restaurant, with me and my sister. And that's where I got my feet wet with business, but it never really worked out. We had it for a few years and whatever else, but it gave me the taste of making some extra cash, which is what led me into, then looking online, because I wanted to continue that process. But I wanted to do it with something that required less investment to start off.
Yeah, and obviously something that you can then build up and hopefully earn some money without having to put too much time into it ultimately. Exactly. At the end of the day. So how many websites have you got up and running so far?
Yeah, so at the moment, I've got 2 websites that I'm currently running. One of them being my main website in the dog niche, and then the other one being in the baby niche, which is something that's a work in progress.
Okay. And how much are they earning, if you want? Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I don't mind. So the actual dog website, that one just crossed roughly about $615 this month. And
that's
then
pretty good.
Yep, that's on Amazon actually, and then it done like another $90 on ClickBank. So I forgot about the ClickBank product. So just under roughly about $700 profit. And then we've got the baby site, which done about $40 profit, and I've just only got about I think 12 articles on there. I haven't really done anything with it, but it made a few sales.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That looks promising. So going back to the dog one, I mean, how much traffic is it generating to kind of produce that sort of revenue?
Yeah, so at the moment, the traffic has just recently crossed 7,000 visits per month, and it's on a constant increase.
And where's that traffic coming from? Is that mainly Google organic?
Yes, I'd say about 98% of it is from organic traffic.
Great. So in terms of your SEO, have you been doing any link building? I mean, what's your approach when it comes to getting yourself on the search engines?
Yeah, so in regards to how I go about link building or anything like that, I mainly focus on, targeting keywords that are of low competition. So something where I can see myself potentially writing something that's better content than what's already available on the internet. I kind of take a little bit of an income school approach in regards to my content strategy, because I go and check if I see something that's there, even if it's authoritative, but it's not on point answering the topic, then I'll come in and answer that and provide a better, piece of content.
Just be more relevant.
Yeah. So that's one way. And then moving on to the backlinks, I do a bit of backlinking. So I'm a student of Savage Affiliates from Franklin Hatchett.
Oh, yeah.
So like he teaches to do Web 2.0s. So that's essentially building these mini blogs on websites like, blogger.com or wordpress.com. So not the actual other WordPress. And you just build these mini blogs that appear to Google like a actual real blogger that sends a backlink back to your site. And the way you structure them is so all of the link juice passes through to like one main article, and then you link that article back to your money post. So I've done about 20 Web 2.0s across the site. I've done a lot of blog commenting, probably over about 150 blog comments.
Wow.
So that's going over to competitors' blogs and asking questions, asking them for their expert advice in that sense, and then linking back to my article, which I'm making out that I'm just a reader linking back and I've read it and I need some advice.
Okay,
so I've got some links from that. And then I've also got a few authority backlinks using a service that I can't really share on this video, but I can share with you after, Alex.
Okay, some shady secret service you've got there.
But they are legitimate sites. They're really big authority sites like stack.com and entrepreneur.com and stuff like that. But I've got like a link to someone.
Okay, you know a guy. All right, say no more. Just touching on that a bit further. So the Web 2.0 and obviously creating articles, that sounds like you need quite a bit of content. Are you creating all that yourself?
No. So I don't write any of the content for the Web 2.0s. I actually hire a writer on Conquer, which is just a freelance platform for anyone who doesn't know. And for about $40, there's a guy who creates the content. Now, the reason why I use that guy is because I know his content is unique. It's not like any duplicate content or anything like that. So you can be sure that it's legit. And he creates the Web 2.0 for about $40. He'll create 10 of them. He'll create 10. And
10 for 40?
Yeah, for $40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds
and
a bargain.
legitimate content, but really badly written. So they might not be, English is the second language for a lot of these guys who write it. And then for him to add additional pieces of content, I think it's $10 for like 3 articles. So I just keep buying those $10 packages and just keep building out these Web 2.0s. And I try to get them to around 5 to 8 articles per Web 2.0.
Yeah, but they don't read particularly well, these articles.
Sorry?
They don't read particularly well.
Yeah, no, so they're really basic. They make sense and whatever else, but they're not really, like
okay.
Good
And
content.
so the content for your own site, do you create that or do you have a different writer for that?
So the content on my site, the site currently has 92 articles. I've written about 75 of those myself.
Wow. So you've done all the research and all the writing and all that kind of stuff yourself. That sounds like quite a few hours you put in there then.
Definitely. I've put in a lot of time because what it is the reason why is because I believe that if you start any niche, any industry that you go into, it's better for you to understand that industry from the bottom up. So when someone produces content for you as a writer, you'll be able to identify whether it's quality or not.
I think that's
that.
First rule of business there, isn't it? If you want to delegate anything, you need to do it yourself first, so that then when you're delegating it, you can, you know what you need and what they know what's expected, and you've got an idea of the kind of quality and all that kind of stuff. So that sounds good. One last question on this particular area. So the blog commenting, I mean, I was under the impression that these links are generally no follow. Is that what you found?
That's correct. They are no follow links. One other thing, sorry, I forgot to mention that I put in conjunction with blog commenting is I use a lot of Quora. So I go into Quora. Whenever I post an article, I'll go into Quora and find relevant articles. I'll search for the topics and then relevant questions and answer those questions with a short answer and link it back. So I combine that with the blog comments.
Yeah, I've done that quite a bit. I call it Quora though.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't know how to pronounce it, and you
Someone
found that your
proper
answers have
comment
been,
who's right.
yeah. But leave a comment if you know how to pronounce Quora,
Yeah,
Quora, or whatever. And you
Cora.
found that your answers have stuck, because I had a few people talking to me the other day and saying that they've been trying to do this, but their answer never seems to get published or whatever. And so, have you got any tips on how you can make sure that you get your answer published?
Yes, there's one answer to that, and it's the big answer that the whole internet is preaching to everyone: give value.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure it's actually helpful, because then no one's going to leave any negative feedback on that comment. Make sure it's unique. You're
Yeah.
not copying it from anywhere. And then make sure that it's actually valuable, helpful information. So if it warrants you to write 500 words, then do it.
Yeah.
Add images, make it look nice, add some multimedia, all of that. If it warrants a video, put the video in, all of that.
Just give the best possible answer you can, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And even though there are no follow links, I have seen an increase overall in the site's authority over time, throughout just, writing content and mainly focusing on those things. When I was able to measure those metrics, because now I'm doing a few other things that obviously, deters the metrics from that.
Yeah. No, I think there is still value in no follow links. Definitely, I think Google still counts them up, and they must have some value. Okay,
Well,
go on. What were you going to say?
yeah, no, I was going to say ultimately, with SEO, to simplify it, we're basically emulating the process of a real established business that builds themselves up on the internet. So we're replicating that. That's the process of SEO. So obviously, when we're going out and doing all of this stuff, like if you think of a normal legitimate business that builds themselves up, like how Google wants to see it naturally, the first thing they do is go and share the stuff on social media.
Yeah.
So, even if there are no follow links, that's what Google wants to see, because it's a very natural expression of a business online.
Yeah, I mean, a natural site is going to have a mix, isn't it, of different types of links? No follow links, some from social media, some from established sites, some from smaller sites. It's going to have that mix. Any site would, any natural site. So that's all we're trying to replicate.
It helps you to diversify as well, because if you go and hit your site with these big DA50 plus domains, and then Google can see, okay, well, you haven't even shared it on social media. How does anyone know about your site yet?
Yeah.
So it looks unnatural. So yeah.
Good tip. Okay, speaking of tips, let's move on from SEO. So there's a lot of people that come to my channel and they're looking to, get online, start making money online, I should say, start a business, start affiliate marketing sites. Is there any advice that you could give to those people that are looking to start up? Maybe they're still in their day job and they're just kind of thinking about it. What would you say to them?
Yeah, so what I would say is, if I could give any advice, I would definitely say, before picking your niche, make sure that it's not seasonal. Make sure that it has a good amount of products with $100 plus range on it. So don't go too high, maybe $100 to $200. That's like the sweet spot. So make sure it has those products on Amazon that you can promote, or any other, third party affiliate marketplace or network, that you can promote those products on. Also, I would say pick something that you understand, or or you have some experience in. If you don't know what that is, then all you need to do is go and take out your CV or something. Go check the things that you've done, because that will clearly tell you what you're good at. Yeah. And then stick with it. Whatever you pick, make sure you stick with it. Don't give up on it, because I've realized from this game, no matter what kind of site you build, if you stick with it long enough, it will give you your return on investment. Of whatever you've put in, you will profit.
Okay.
I believe that. Keep
going. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, they get a little bit disheartened. They've put a few months work in and it still doesn't seem to be happening, and they kind of give up. They get a bit, demotivated from it all.
It's hard to see when you don't have that cement confirmation. That's
what you're doing is actually working.
Yeah, when you've got that confirmation, for example, where I've taken my site to where it is now, I'm prepared to wait a year, if I need to make something work now, because it just gives you that confirmation. You've got that belief now that it's going to work. You just have to give it time.
Just got to give it time, keep going, keep working at it. Okay, so just going back to the niche selection that we just talked about. So what is your approach to choosing a niche?
Yeah, so my approach to choosing a niche is I have to qualify the topic. Okay, so I've got actually a sheet here that I'm going to go through just to give you the exact metrics of what I do, because it will give everyone a clear understanding of exactly what they need to do to select a niche. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I've just got that here. So I, first of all, will check Google Trends to check the popularity and the trajectory of the topic.
Yeah.
So some topics, yeah.
Yeah, but before you've even done that, how would you come up with an idea for a niche? Or is it just, you just come across ideas in your day-to-day life?
No, so the way I come up with it is I will basically go and check Wikipedia hobbies.
Okay.
I check the hobbies on Wikipedia because I always want to focus it around an interest and not around a product.
Yeah.
So I'll focus it around an actual something that people spend money in and they're interested in.
Okay.
And then once I've done that, I'll check the trends of the topic. So once I've identified, okay, well, what relates to me in this, or what would I like to get into in this? Even if it's something that you're not in, what would you like to get into? Then I'll check the product's commission rate on Amazon, because if you make this whole great site and it's only got a 1% commission, then it's no good.
On a $2 product, it's not going to work. Yeah,
exactly. So that also will change the approach, because then you will know, okay, well, I'm going to go for informational products and maybe informational articles are monetized with adverts, opposed to affiliate. So that will change on what avenue, what direction you go in. It must have a good selection of products in between the $100 to $200 range. It must not be seasonal as well. Yeah, I'm not going to do something that, if it is seasonal, then you need to be aware of it at least and pick it. If you're going to do something like the lawnmower industry, like gardens and stuff, that's really good. It's 8% commission on Amazon, but then it's a very seasonal.
You're only going to make any money in the summer, aren't you?
Exactly. So you need to be able to kind of, hedge against that. If you've got a business that consistently profits and you can hedge against that, then maybe it's a good decision. But for someone starting out, I'd recommend not to go for something seasonal. You want to have that consistent income. And then it must also have a good selection of, good keywords in the niche. But I wouldn't worry too much about that, because you can find keywords after.
There's always the long tail, and there's like an infinite number of keywords down the long tail, isn't there? Really?
Exactly. You can never get to the end of that. Yeah.
Okay. That's some good tips. So what would you, I think we've probably already just touched on this, but I've got the question here. What tips would you give someone that's got a site and they've been going for 6 months and they are getting a little bit demotivated? But I think you have just covered it. Basically, you just said, keep going. It will come good in the end. You just got to keep ploughing on.
Yeah, I've got a little bit more on that, just for anyone who is. If you are past the 6-month mark and you're not getting the results that you desire, then I do believe that you need to set some targets, actionable targets, not objectives. So not the outcomes that you're looking for, but instead you need to focus on setting some targets like, what is your traffic goal? What's the monetary goal? And then you need to identify the flaws within your business of exactly what's holding you back from achieving that. So if it's traffic, then you need to get more traffic and focus on informational articles maybe to get the traffic up. If you want to monetize and diversify with adverts, for example.
Yeah.
Like if I were talking about my business, it costs 7,000 visits per month. I'm looking at how I can diversify the income from affiliate to ads. So my next goal is to hit 10,000 visits per month. Now, when I've set that target, I'm trying to get there as fast as possible. So that means I'm going to go for the lowest competition informational articles and just plow through, because that's going to get me the fastest amount of traffic. So I can then go to Ezoic and monetize with Ezoic ads, because I need 10,000 visits a month. So identify those flaws and evaluate.
Yeah.
So write down what's working, because there's going to be a lot of things that you've already done that's working. So what is it that moves the needle in the business? Is it writing content? Is it backlinks? Are they high DA backlinks? What is it that's actually doing well? And what are the things that are doing wrong? So just make like a basic old school chart like you would in school and write what's working, what isn't working, so you can clearly see what you need to do.
What you need to do more of, yeah. That's good advice. Speaking about advice, is there anyone that you mentioned Ty Lopez and Franklin and all those guys. Is there any other guys on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet that you would recommend people go and watch? Say maybe on YouTube, somewhere like that. Any other mentors or experts or gurus?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to anything WordPress, I'd say Alex, you're in the right place. All right, because you're really good with the all the building of the sites and things like that. Very, very good with that. Yeah. In regards to, I would say one of the best things you can do, like anytime when you're trying to better yourself, go and find someone who's just at a level just above where you are, because sometimes you might find that people who are way gone with this kind of thing, with business, is they might not be talking from the beginner's perspective, so sometimes they could be talking and things are kind of going over your head because it's a lot more advanced, or they're at a different level. So find someone who's doing just a little bit better than where you are, and then when you get to that stage, find someone who's doing a little bit better. So every time you've got a proven track record to follow through with. I would recommend, if you're going to watch anyone, and I personally believe that they are the best channel to watch, I would say it's Income School. And the reason why that sounds very cliche in this niche, in this industry, is because they are the only guys who are totally focused on the long-term game. And if you look at any kind of business that's focused on long-term, they're always the ones who win the race. Yeah. So same as Amazon, Jeff Bezos and people like that. It's really interesting. So when you talk about Income School, they're the only channel of where they would love to retire with niche websites. If they're that committed to building niche websites, they are the ones to follow. Not only that, but the results don't lie. If they're the only ones, they're happy to share their sites. And on top of it, they're pulling in like ridiculous numbers from niche websites consistently, time and time again. So there's something within their recipe that just works. It just works.
They're not on the get rich quick scheme, are they? They're on the long burn there. So
giving realistic time goals, and all of that. And that's another thing for a tip for a beginner. Have a very realistic perspective on this. Don't listen to all the, like, I was victim to this, like all the gurus like saying, you can make this much. And then you see people who do get those results who are usually the exception. And this is why I was saying it's so important to ask the person's background on the interview, because like when you get some people, they come in, they get results within like 2-3 months and they're making like 10,000 a month. But then you find out that they was an ex-sales guy, so all of those things build up to that point. There's certain things that are going to trip and have light bulb moments in that person's head that might not happen for you. So the person's background can really make a huge difference. Not
many people start earning 10 grand within a few months, but as you say, they're the ones that always appear on the sales pages for the courses and all that.
Testimonials and all that. Yeah. So then you think you can replicate it, and then it throws you off, because when you don't achieve it, you start losing belief.
Yeah, you start losing confidence and think you're doing something wrong and all the rest of it. Yeah. Okay. So we're nearly at the end. Let's just do a couple more questions. So you've seen my website, not my latest one, but the one before that, bestreefbox.com, which goes against both yourself and Income School because it is a product-focused site. But hey, never mind. You mentioned that you might have a few tips for me on that, so I'm very interested to hear what they might be.
Yeah. Okay. So from looking at the site, I'm just going to head back over to it again now. I think the content is brilliant. That's one tip that I'll give right off the bat. Really high quality content, very informative and helpful information. Obviously, again, as you said, I wouldn't have focused it around a product. I would have more focused it around, maybe outdoor trips or something like that. So that way it has not only room for expansion, because, you want to have a broad brand name. So if someone did buy this site off you, they could potentially expand it down the line. With this, it limits it to just roof boxes. So right. That's one downside to having a product focused site. And buyers, that will give you a lower multiple. I just did a video on my channel about multiples and how you can increase that. So you always want to have a branded wide domain on a particular hobby or topic opposed to a product. Now, the other thing is, I can see that obviously prior to your last article, I'd say almost like, 90% of them are very buyer intent focused. There's something that I don't know that I believe Google understands that has a big limitation on traffic. I know quite a few people in this industry, and every single one of them that have done just buyer intent focused articles all have a problem with traffic. I've not seen one that have, and the only time that they really surpass that is when they're just going absolutely smashing backlinks. Like they've got to go so heavy on backlinks in order to really get traffic to the site. So they always suffer with traffic. Now, the way I would approach this in regards to giving you an actionable tip is I would say that you should focus more on moving forward, identifying what is it that you need. And right now, I would say it's traffic. So that means focusing on a nice strategy of moving forward with informational articles. Yeah. And then using those articles as a sort of bridge to get through to the buyer intent articles. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen that you've done that on this article, on this last one that you published. I would focus on question-based articles. Okay, so ones like this, what are car roof boxes used for? But the only thing, just looking at this title, it looks still quite like a very generic, a broad topic, very difficult to rank for.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, obviously, how difficult that is. You'll probably explain that to me later. But I would go for something quite specific, so something specific like what, I don't know, best, or not best, where's the best place, to go out camping with a roof box in, I don't know, in the UK or in America, wherever it's based. Those kind of specific questions that no one else is answering. I would do quite a lot of them because this is going to build up the organic traffic and the trust of your site. So people start to understand and know your site, and it will get more traffic flowing through the site. So Google can have more data, which will then obviously, pass on to your other pages and push them up the ranks as well. Also, I would focus on how-to articles. I would go absolutely, I would smash them. Okay. How-to articles are the best because you can still promote products on them. So because someone wants to know how to do something, I would only use in-text links on those articles. So no buttons or anything like that. As the other thing on these informational articles as well, no buttons, just purely in text. So just in context links, and just using them to go off to affiliate products if it makes sense. Yeah. So not hungry for the money, just if it makes sense. And then linking over to your other, articles on the site, if it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that's what I would do, is just purely informational. I would basically go 80% information, 20% buyer intent at the moment until you get that traffic up. And then when you get to that traffic, you're going to do another evaluation. And then you're going to look at, okay, well, now what do I do? Because now my traffic's up. I'm now monetizing with maybe you might have ads on the site at that point. Who knows? Yeah. So that at that point, then you might identify, okay, what's the next step, best step moving forward from here? So then it might be, okay, now I'm going to switch it back and go 50-50, 50% buyer intent, 50% informational, or you might switch it 80% buyer intent, 20% information at that point, because if the traffic's coming and you're still not getting enough money, then obviously that's another problem. But definitely for a product review site, I would go out of that informational articles that I'm saying you should make up 80% of. I would recommend that you go heavily on how-to articles. The only time you do those question-based ones is if you can't find a how-to.
Sorry, there is someone at my door. We're going to have to do a quick edit. The dog's barking. 2 seconds.
That's all right.
Okay, sorry about that, viewers. There was someone at the door. Quick edit. We're fine. I think that's some good advice. Yeah. See, I'm going forward. I'm going to definitely focus a lot more on informational articles, I think. And I have been a bit product-focused if you look at the content on the site, which is bringing in a trickle of traffic, but maybe not as much as I'd hoped. Yeah,
you're always going to get hurt with just focusing on that unless you're going super heavy on buyer intent, because what happens is the informational articles start to rank without any backlinks. So that starts to happen naturally whilst you're focusing on all the buyer intent and doing other things. That starts to bring that traffic up. So more people are essentially swimming through your site.
Yeah. Good. Well, I think I've run out of questions now, so that's going to bring us to the end of this interview. It's been really good. Have you got anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, I've just got one more thing that I'd like to share with everyone. So I would say, although I mentioned Income School, I just want to name a few other places of where you can go, because what's quite good to watch is, even if they're outdated, watch some old interviews of other people who have started and made like $1,000 a month or £1,000 a month, something like that, because those people are going to share like the true experience, of what it took them and how they done it. So one thing I do is I go to all these channels and watch all the old interviews, even if they're like 3 years old. And, it's just like if you trying to become like, an athlete or something, and you go watch the old athletes, even if the fight's old, it's still good to watch. You can still learn a lot and pick up a lot. So to find those interviews, the best places is Spencer Hawes over at Niche Pursuits. Matt Diggity. He's a very, off-page kind of backlink SEO grey hat kind of guy, but he's got a few great interviews on his channel. He even interviews the guy from 10 Beasts and things like that, so you can see all of that, which is review website, so that's quite interesting. You've also got Franklin Hatchett. His channel is a bit like, he shares this and that with different stuff, but go back and watch some of his SEO stuff, is pretty handy. And then Doug Cunnington as well, definitely a good guy. Watch his interviews with people who, his success stories.
Doug is obviously a regular on here, so we know Doug well.
And that's it. And some more Alex.
Yeah. Okay. One thing actually I forgot to mention, is there any particular tools that you use, that you have a go-to tool that you like, maybe a keyword tool or something like that you'd like to use?
Yeah, so when I'm doing keyword research, I like to use Google and the related search queries. Okay, so I use like the ones that, what else are people asking? The one where you can keep clicking it and it keeps suggesting more.
That's good. You don't even have to pay for that. That's just Google. Yep.
Yeah, and then related searches at the bottom of the page. And the reason why I use them is because you want to understand what the psychology behind the search are. So you can understand the psychology behind that, because when they're searching for something, you can see, okay, well, do they want a straight answer of what the products are? Do they want like recommendations of these other things? And it leads you down that kind of rabbit hole to understand exactly what they want so you can serve them well. That's one way. And then I also use, what's the other site? The one with the guy with the beard, the free site.
Answer the Public.
Answer the Public. That's it. So I use that as well. Anytime if I find keywords on there, I always come back and drum it into Google and do a manual search to see the level of competition and, like the traffic as well. And now in regards to an actual tool that I use for tracking my keywords and keyword research to a certain degree is keysearch.co. It's $17 a month.
Keysearch.co, okay, yeah.
I've got tons of tutorials on my YouTube channel on that tool, like of how you see my strategy exactly in and out with the tool. I've kind of evolved from that strategy a little bit now, but I still recommend going and checking out those videos because it's quite helpful. And if you search the tool, I think I'm ranking for all the reviews on it anyway. So
okay.
Yeah,
hopefully you got an affiliate link on that or something.
Yeah, I've got an affiliate link as well. We've got to have that in there. That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, Leon. And yeah, I hope everyone found it useful. Obviously, do go check out Leon's channel. I'll put all the links in the description, and I'll have probably mentioned it in the intro to this video anyway. But yeah, thanks for your time, and we'll catch up again soon.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alex. Likewise.
All right, no worries. See you later.
All right, then. Bye-bye.
So that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you found that useful. Leon certainly shared some useful bits of information during the call, and hopefully you've been able to take away some things that you can now apply to your website. I'd love to hear from you, so why not leave a comment below? I do read all of the comments that I get, and I'll try and reply to as many as I possibly can. If you've not already gone and checked out Leon's channel, I suggest you do so right now. Put a link up there. You just go and click on his face. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, if you've not done so already, then you can click on my face. And there's a couple of videos that have been chosen specially for you. I hope you enjoy them. Until next time, bye for now.